Hello. I am here with a message. I am only going to pull 2 cards. I get the message in 2 cards because I'm in the car and I probably don't have very long before I will be interrupted. I am the type of person who always has tarot cards on hand. And I had these in my car, so I'm going to use them. This is actually the very first deck of tarot cards that I ever purchased for myself. I'm not even sure that all of the cards are still here because it's pretty old. And since it has been in my car, it is exposed to grime. I'm gonna take that one, I guess. It just kind of flew out. The Empress, number 3, in the major arcana. And let's see if I can get one more. This one doesn't want to go in, so I'm gonna take it. Strength, number 8, in the major arcana. All right, so 3 and 8 equals 11. In numerology, my practice of numerology anyway, 11 is a standalone number. It is a number that does not have to be reduced. One of the 2-digit numbers that does not have to be reduced because it is a repeating number, so that kind of means that it carries double the power. So other examples of that would be 22, 44, 66, 33, 55, 77, etc. Also, I am feeling drawn to say that not all numerologists reduce numbers at all. So even if you were to get like a random 3-digit number that didn't have any repeating digits, there are lots of different ways you can work with that energy and interpret the numbers. The great thing about these esoteric studies or spiritual practices or whatever you would like to call them, for me, they are tools to get in touch with my subconscious mind. But the beauty of them is that they are open-ended tools. So there is no one way to use them. There is no correct way to use them. The correct way is the way that you choose to use them. I run across a lot of people in my adventures who are kind of new to spirituality, and they tend to still be kind of in the belief system of everything needing to be like the book says. But there is a lot of wisdom and value in the way that you feel called or led to practice whatever you want to believe metaphysical type things are. Whether it's psychological for you, or spiritual for you, medical for you. You can assign any kind of meaning that you would like to anything, and it's valid. for you somehow. There is a spiritual message in there for you somehow, a divine inspiration waiting for your discovery. So I feel like I want to look at the cards again, because I feel like that was a little bit of a tangent. So this is the Empress. This particular Empress is wearing a red dress. Maybe red-orange, because she's sitting on a red throw. She has on a blue corset, and her scepter is blue. So in the previous reading that I posted, I kind of went into another little tangent about how in order to enhance your creative energy, which in my practice is orange energy or sacral chakra energy, you can go to the opposite side of the color wheel, which is blue. Blue is represented in the chakra system by the throat chakra. So you can bring in some blue energy or self-expression or communication, or however you want to perceive blue energy, but sometimes it will enhance the orange energy because they are opposites on the color spectrum. Opposites attract. Also, I don't know if you've ever had this phenomenon happen to you, but sometimes if you've been looking at something red, when you close your eyes, you'll see green. And you know, those are opposites on the color wheel. I don't know if that works with orange and blue. I've never tried it, but I might actually try it to see what kind of experience I have with that. But also in some of my studies, I know that Rudolf Steiner told teachers to, when they were working with a child who seemed to have, let's just say, a lot of wild red energy, you should actually give them the opposite color. Give them something of the opposite color to kind of balance out their moods. So that was a whole message in and of itself for someone, because I went on 2 tangents about things that I wasn't really expecting to go on a tangent about, because neither one of them have anything to do with the Empress. At least not that I can see yet. But so in tarot, the storytelling part of tarot, the Empress is kind of like what I would consider to be a complete divine feminine energy. Like, she is embodying her whole self unapologetically, body, mind, and spirit, and heart. If you're like me and believe in the fourfold human body. So let me go on another tangent just for a moment to explain that trail of thought. But this is kind of another belief that stems from anthroposophy. But I tend to kind of believe that we have a physical body. So that's the body that you can see and touch and do all kinds of fun things with. That's your tangible physical body. And then outside of that, you have a heart body, which is kind of where your feelings live, your emotions. Can't really see it, but it can sort of be measured. terms of neurotransmitters. If you want to think about that connection. And then outside of that is the mind body. So the body where your thoughts and beliefs come from. Again, invisible to the human eye, but definitely ever present in our existence and our experience. And then beyond that, you have a spiritual body, so that's the fourth layer. And that body is where your higher self, your soul, kind of the seat of your soul, maybe, if you want to call it that, lives. So yeah, those are kind of how I operate, the operating system that's running in my brain. It's how I think of things, if you care to know. But anyway, the Empress represents a woman who is leaning back. She is sitting on her throne. She is seemingly without a care, but also she is wise. She knows what's up. She's probably seen some ish. Because usually the Empress is kind of depicted as a middle-aged woman. Sometimes she's pregnant in the tarot cards. I don't really get the impression from this particular one, but this one is very much about the divine feminine, being in your divine feminine power. If you don't believe in divine feminine, divine masculine, yin energy, shadow energy, chaos energy, flow energy, receiving energy, beauty, harmony, all of the things that you associate with the polarity of what feminine energy means. So there's also some corn growing here. There's also some autumn leaves there on the side. Corn and leaves falling from a tree. There's a waterfall in the background behind her throne. There's a beautiful sky. So I feel like this is speaking to cycles. Because I see the corn, which is going to be harvested soon. And we all know that after the harvest time comes the winter time. And the winter time is barren, and the winter time is a time of rest and renewal and even death. And those are natural parts of the human experience. Those are natural cycles that we all experience. Even though we tend to live in a society that does not honor our cycles at all, our natural cycles and rhythms. It's just one of the things that we are learning about as a human race, how to be in the world. In a way that uplifts humanity, in a way that makes a difference for the good. How can we be in this world in a way that leaves the kind of legendary impact that you want to leave, rather than like being known for nefarious deeds. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I truly believe that every word I am speaking is meant for someone out there. I don't necessarily know what I'm saying. I'm very much not editing myself right now, which is yeah, it's a thing that I don't do very often. So when I'm speaking and it seems like it doesn't have anything to do with the card, it actually does in some kind of way, because it's all divinely channeled. So yeah, this is the Empress, and I don't have a guidebook with this deck because I lost it. And the funny thing is, my mom actually gave me the same deck because she had it. She had this deck, and she decided she didn't want it anymore, so she gave it to me. And hers didn't have the guidebook either. So I am taking that as a message that these cards are meant to be interpreted fully by my own intuition rather than leaning on the guidebook to supplement what I'm saying. This is the Strength card. It is the number 8. Kind of in tarot lore, this is the Beauty and the Beast. In terms of beauty, taming the beast through her gentle strength. But then we're also reminded of the beast saving the beauty through his brute strength. So this is very much a card about how strength is a spectrum. And life requires both ends of the spectrum to be met. Sometimes our gentleness is the biggest strength, and sometimes our show of might and force is also something that's appropriate. You cannot have peace without the opposite of peace sometimes. So seeing the validity of both sides of the spectrum is what I am being urged to say. Because there's always truth on both sides. There's always something valid on both sides. So my favorite thing ever is being in a parking lot doing a tarot reading and having people look at my windows and wonder what the hell I'm doing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because I can do what I want, right? As long as I'm not hurting anyone. I hope I'm not hurting anyone with these tarot readings. Anyway. Strength. The Strength card is about the value of both your gentle strength and your brute force. Both are sometimes necessary. Also, you'll see the infinity sign over Beauty's head. And you'll also probably know that in number 8 is an infinity sign, but vertical. So I don't feel like it's an accident that the 8s are being represented in that way here. I feel like 8 is a number of mastery and abundance and just all of the wonderful things that you would want to have. It's number 8. It's a great number. Great, has a great energy. Well, subjectively, I guess. Maybe you have a different feeling about 8, but I personally love it because I just do. But also, this is kind of a reminder that strength kind of, how do I want to say this? Kind of this gentle strength is more of the state that puts you in abundance. It's the state where things can grow. It's the state where you are the most radiant when you are living in your quiet, gentle strength. And sometimes, not all the time, sometimes quiet, gentle strength can transform brute strength into something truly divine. I think about times in history when there was extreme violence, and through someone practicing nonviolence, it changed humanity forever. I have another watcher. So colors in this card: red, yellow, which was also a theme in the previous reading. Red and yellow playing together to create the environment for creativity to flourish. Your orange energy is your creativity. Your red energy is your grounding energy, or your energy of stability. And your yellow energy is your active energy, where you take action from. So I think it's significant that those colors are coming back up here. And it's associated with the Strength card, the number 8 card. Mastery of your strength. So I think about the meaning of number 8, and yeah, this is the mastery of the spectrum of your strength. So the mastery of your gentle strength and the mastery of your brute strength. And they are living together. They are cohabitating together. They are thriving together. They are rising in love together. So these 2 cards together, again, add up to 11. We talked about that kind of at the beginning. 11 is all about manifestation. So if you think about when someone says 1111, make a wish, that is a child's intuition, a child's divine intuition telling you to pay attention to the number 11. Because they intuitively know that 11 is such a special number. So just because of the cards that were drawn and the way that the feminine energy is interpreted, I am going to say that this is inviting you to put yourself into a state of softness and gentleness, and allow yourself to receive. And I hear that it might be scary, because it is scary. It's scary to lay on your back and expose your belly to a beast. But there is something worth noticing in that fear that you will feel when you allow yourself to lean back. I'm hearing a message about overfunctioning. And this is asking you to examine the places where you overfunction. And why do you feel the need to overfunction when it so clearly puts you in this state where brute force becomes necessary to get your point across, or to even see an action through? Like, sometimes are you putting yourself in such a state that it becomes difficult to carry on without some force from yourself? Like, you're having to force yourself to do something. Is that really the way you want to spend your time here? Forcing yourself to do something? So this is definitely an invitation to try to put yourself into the mindset of allowing things to flow in and out of your life naturally, without your force, without any kind of effort on your part. And again, I am not saying that that means that, you know, that it absolves you of responsibilities and all of that. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just asking you to notice, where are you in your life exerting a lot of this force of, like, where are you wanting to force something to work out when it so clearly doesn't want to, when it's so clearly battling every second of you, like trying to make it work. And then what would happen if you took this stance about it instead and just said, okay, shh, like, what would your inner self do if you just told it to shh? just for a minute. And not even like in a mean way, just kind of like, can you just let me be for a moment? Kind of a way. So yeah, get into your divine feminine energy, or your yin energy, or your shadow energy, or your receptive energy. Because I feel like there's definitely some messages from yourself to yourself in that space that you might find valuable to carry you into the next chapter of your life. So that's that. I hope that this finds whoever it needs to find. I hope that it's helpful to you, and I hope that you feel refreshed and motivated and positive and all of the wonderful things that anyone ever wants anyone to feel. So, have a great day.